So you can see those knives rotating now. Big stone there getting kicked about like a football. This might need 2 passes, I think. I don't think we're going to get away with 1 pass at all. If we can get this seeded today and rolled, rain forecast tomorrow, catch it ideally. You might have remembered from one of our earlier videos, I think it was titled Rick versus Rain or something like that. We were baling this field that I'm working in today, and there was quite a lot of ruts in it from last year's crop when it came off. The clients had a load of drainage work done on here, so there's been little holes dug up all over the place, trenches put in, new pipes laid, problem parts fixed. And it's left us with quite a few areas which have obviously been dug up and then backfilled with the excavators, and also just some general ruts in the field from where it was wet last year. It's horrible when you're mowing, so we want to get this nice and flat so it's a lot easier to harvest next year. Patch up where all the drain work's been done. Guys there from Brocklist, as local contractors to us, did the drainage on here. Made a cracking job by the look of it. Real nice, neat, tidy job. So it's here now what I mean, we're just sort of working these patches anywhere that was rutted and rough. And we're going through with a rotovator. Rotovate is not normally my primary cultivation tool of choice. You've got to be a bit careful for it scalloping and making a hard pan underneath. But in small patches like this, then clearly the discs aren't going to be that appropriate because I'm having to go in lots of different little places. So just going through with the rotovator and its crumbler behind, really dry conditions, it's just breaking it up nicely so that Paul can go through with the power harrow. So I'll just show you what we're using and why we're using it. So I've just enabled the rear PTO out the cab on the computer. What that lets me do now is use this button here just to start the PTO up. Handy feature if you're trying to look at the machine, see if everything's okay with it. You've got to be a bit careful because obviously we're now near all the moving parts. But it'll let me show you this from a demonstration point of view of how this operates. So you can see those knives rotating now. When we lower the link arms, that engages in the soil, it's chopping that soil up, throwing any clodding material backwards, which will then get broken up further by the crumbler roller. Obviously when we're working this, we'll have the tractor revved up, so the PTO is going faster, and we're really chopping the soil. We can also alter in the gearbox the cog settings so we can slow or speed up the rotation depending on ground conditions. I'm running this quite quickly today in 1000 PTO. So I want to break the soil up, then get to a fine tilth as quick as we can, so Paul can go over with the power harrow, and then we can feather it into the field. What I don't want afterwards is a hump from where the existing sward is into the newly worked area. We want it feathered out as nice as we can, so when we're mowing next year, we're not going over humps and bumps. Also got the hood here. We've got that rilled quite low down. The further the hood's set down, the more it's holding the material inside the machine for that chopping action. If I open this up, it'll let the material flow out faster, but it won't get as much of a chop. In the conditions we're in and the job we're trying to do, we've got that shut down quite hard, quite aggressively. We're chopping it up as fine as we can, as quickly as possible. You can see the job it's making. We've gone through this hard grassland and we've broken that up now down to about 5 or 6 inches. Lovely friable material. See Paul now at the 6R185. He's got that new folding Kuhn power harrow we had from Right Agri a couple of months ago. 4 metre. Lovely size machine for what we do. A lot easier than a 3 metre machine on the road from a transport width. And that extra metre really gets you on quickly. See what I mean about the packer roller on this machine? It's solid. Those little spikes that mean it digs into the ground so it continues to rotate rather than just slipping in wetter conditions. And the scrapers. So if it does get a bit wet and claggy and you're just going to get a field finished in suboptimal conditions, that'll keep turning and keep itself clean. Whereas the cage roller, if we had that on the power harrow, in wet conditions it starts to ball up on our clay. Big stone there getting kicked about like a football. So what the power harrow is doing is just helping it level a little bit more. It's mixing the soil and distributing that more evenly across the width of the machine so that it levels the ground out nicely. The packer roll on the back just firming it down. This is a species-rich grass mix, so we've not killed it off or sprayed it off. A lot of this will re-establish, which is perfect. We are going to go back over it with a little bit more seed as well, of fine grasses, a little bit of botanical mix in there, just to bolster it. Take that opportunity while we're breaking ground, just to get a bit more diversity into the sward, but there's no need to kill it off. So you can see as Paul comes towards us now, the mixing action. It's like whisking the soil up. And that roller's just packing it down again behind. It's leaving the field really nice and flat and level. You'll also notice, it's quite embarrassing really, the amount of Kuhn equipment we seem to have. That's a testimony not only to the Kuhn brand, you know, we've always got on well with their kit, also the local dealers network that we've used historically and going forward, have always supported us really well. Got one of our Kuhn flail mowers on the front. This is the BPR 280. She's seen a bit of action now. Had a few seasons with her. Could do with straightening that out at some point. The reason I brought that, there's some access tracks, maintenance rides through the woodland area next to us. We'll just go around that with a flail, keep all that tidy. In this operation, whilst there's a bit of weight in the rotovator on the back, rather than carrying a weight block, just put the flail mower on the front. So just with one journey to where we're working, I can do 2 operations. It's fantastic. So I've just finished rotovating. I'm just coming around now to this woodland plantation, just flailing out the access paths. See the huge advantage of having the front links and front PTO on these tractors. Be able to bring another machine with me to do a totally different job whilst I'm still on site. So really increases the efficiency. So I hope you enjoyed the content. If you've got any ideas for other things you would like us to show you, other stuff that we get up to, please drop it in the comments. What your favourite bits of what we're doing so far. Obviously we're still really young and new to this YouTubing job. 6 months in now. Can't thank you all enough, those that have subscribed. Any of you that have watched us or enjoyed any of the videos that haven't subscribed yet, really appreciate if you do. It costs nothing to subscribe, helps grow our little channel. It really motivates us to make more videos. As I say, yeah, any comments, any ideas for stuff we could do differently or show you, or different things you'd like us to film or focus on. If that's stuff that we've already covered and you'd like some more info on, just let us know. We're really enjoying the process so far, and Oliver, my son's, really enjoying making the videos. I hope he's only 14, he does all the editing for us. I hope you've seen his skills develop over the last few months. He learns new ways and tricks of editing them, and yeah, sort of inspiring him going forward. He's quite engaged. Struggling to get him on camera yet though. He doesn't like being on camera. Every now and again I film him and we'll put him on camera doing something, and then when I see the final video he's edited that I put together, he's edited himself out of it. So we'll try and get a bit of his insight at some point, but I'm sure that'll come in the future. And now the sun is shining again and it's beautiful. 2025 summer keeps on giving. Drought. But we are going to get rain tomorrow, so that's going to help fill the tank and help get the soil hopefully a little bit easier to work. But it's going to take some for that. It is dusty at the moment. Just put the Bednar on, our big Swifterdiscs. I've just maybe thought now, while I've got the discs on, yeah, big shout out to Andrew Ward. I know he's working closely with Bednar now. He's been a big Simba advocate, and he's done a lot of development with them over the years, and Simba is sadly no longer with us. I know he's now working with Bednar, so that's great for Andrew. And noticed on one of his waffles the other day, changing his farmer's practice. Yeah, big respect to Andrew. Tough decisions, I'm sure, and good luck with the future. I know you're carrying on farming, and that's brilliant, and just in a different way. I think we'll all get to a point in our lives where we just need to take our foot off, I don't know, change the slight direction of what we're doing. And but still great that he can carry on enjoying his farming, maybe in a different way going forward. So yeah, all the best, Wardy. So we've got the discs on there. Ours are the Swifterdisc XM 4000 4-metre discs. You'll see them in some of our other videos. Really chuffed we've got these this year. The ground's so hard. Without the weight of this machine, we just wouldn't be penetrating at all with discs. We'd need to be going in with tines first, but these discs are still ripping up in the hard, dry conditions. So that is good. We're gonna get off to site now. I'm gonna start ripping up. Paul's got the big Kuhn power harrow on the 185. Set the first AB line up and had a couple of runs up the field. My word, is this hard. This might need 2 passes, I think. I don't think we're gonna get away with 1 pass at all. It's just so hard, so dry. Just playing with my top link a little bit, just altering the angles and just seeing if I can get it just to bite better, but wow. So you see the advantage of the auto steer here, just this bout that we've not done yet, straight down, full working width of the machine, dead easy, making it much easier for me to focus on just getting the depth and top link position set up on these discs properly. Such hard conditions, just like the slightest bit of change in angle has a huge impact. Just spoken to the client now, saying that 1 pass is just not going to cut it for getting through with the power harrow afterwards. It's still really blocky, so they're pretty relaxed about it. And we're going to go 2 passes with the discs, and then Paul's going to come in with the power harrow, and that should get us down to the sort of seed bed that we want. Trouble is, you see, if you don't go over with the power harrow and just simply try and seed over this, is you've got those big slots there, the seed's going to get down really deep, and then when it's covered over with the rolls, you'll be putting seed in at sort of 4 inches, 100 mil, and it'll never germinate. So that's why breaking it up with the discs, or in some instances we'll use the rotovator, and then going over the power harrow, at least it gets you to that nice consistent seed bed. So just doing this cutting now. Paul's at another field just up the road, so he'll be heading here shortly, so hopefully I can just get ahead of him. Where I'm crossing over these parts of the headland now, just hitting it at a different angle from the first pass, making a huge improvement. So 2 passes is going to definitely be the way forward. You'll see now, you'll notice hopefully the lines where the discs are just not breaking the full width of the, well, not breaking it up consistently across the full working width. Fortunately, with this sort of project, we haven't got time to wait for the rain. The last thing we want to do is it get too late in the season, gets wet, damp, cold, and then we don't get germination before winter. So we want the warmth in the soil for a lot of these species to start germinating. So we do just need to get on. So the first available rain we have has an impact and kick-starts everything. So I've just done set a new AB line up. You see the angle we were working before was straight down here. I've set a second AB line up on that angle, so you can see from here, sort of across. Just putting that slight angle on it, it's just cutting it up beautifully with the second pass. You can see that second pass now that we're really ripping and breaking all the ground up. Make it much easier for the power harrow now. There's Paul just coming into the field now. Just going to check the depth that Paul's working to now. So nice having the folding power harrows. Much more compact on the road, even though this opens up to 4 metres. When it's folded up, it's much narrower than the 3 metre. Really nice for transporting. Yeah, so we're on quite a shallow hole setting here. You'll notice on the side, we're 1, 2, 3, we're in the 4th shallowest. And you'll notice that we've got that eradicator between the 2 tines. And that's what I was struggling in one of the previous videos. I hadn't got a spanner that would fit. So we've lifted that eradicator up out of the way. So that's just kissing the top of the soil now, so it won't drag clods. That little spade there is just filling that gap between the 2 rollers, so you don't get a ridge left. See how the power harrow tines swizzling that way as opposed to the rotovator yesterday going that way. Right, I'm nicely ahead of him and I've got a faster forward speed. I'll just keep chuffing along now with the discs. Get the rest of my second pass finished on this field. Leave Paul to it, then I'll go back and get the drill. Yeah, ground conditions are proper hard now. I've just finished doing 2 passes with the Bednar. Paul's about 2/3 away across the field with the power harrow. See the difference there from how the discs leave it to how the power harrow leaves it lovely and flat. If we can get this seeded today and rolled, rain forecast tomorrow, catch it ideally. Really good, just get a bit of moisture in there. As it's broken it up a bit now, the moisture will absorb into that seedbed really nicely.
It needs a lot of moisture.
It needs a fair bit of moisture. So we've got the seeder on the 215. This is like the biggest tractor and probably the least power hungry job we've got. However, Paul's on the 185, power harrowing, as you've just seen. Luke and Andy are out post knocking with a 130, so as Sam Shutt would say, we are where we are. I was watching Sam Shutt the other evening and I thought it was quite interesting. I think they were buying some bales of rush off one of their neighbours. As you've seen some of our videos where we've been baling off rushes. So it does look like some people still do bale it off and use it as bedding. Guessing up on that hill ground where it's far away from the arables a lot, it's a cost-effective way of bedding versus hauling straw in. Maybe it does open our eyes a little bit toward trying to drive some of that rush out going forward and utilising it as bedding or selling it for bedding. If any of you guys, if you saw that on Sam Shutt, if not, watch her, she's really good. If you've not seen it, just have a look at that. And if any of you have been using dried out, baled off soft rush for bedding, let us know in the comments. I was a bit nervous that you might be spreading weed seed around when you throw the muck about, but don't know, if it's composted well, maybe you can take the viability out of the seed. Yeah, let us know in the comments if any of you. I know we've got a bit of a short straw session. I know it's a bit of a short straw year this year. Should in future years, if we have similar experiences, be thinking about baling some of this rush up. Right, calibration. Scales, not stolen from the kitchen, but specifically for doing this. That's going to catch the seed. Turn fan off. Need a better mounting system. Hugh, if you're watching, this isn't good enough. We need more of these sort of things to put on these tractor rails so that we can hold all the controls nicely. This cable tie thing really annoys me. We're going to go medium seed rate, number 5, switch it on. 1, 2, 3, start. So we're going to do 30 seconds of this and we'll see how much seed we collect. Normally that little door's closed and the seed gets blown with the fan straight through the pipes out those spreader plates I just showed you. But obviously by turning the fan off and open that door, we collect all the seed. Horrible beepy noise in the background. And now we can weigh the seed, 1.2 kilos. So 1.2 kilos, we can now go to our little chart. We need to times this by 6. At 25 kilos a hectare, we need to travel at 10k. So we just unfold the drill now. Nice and easy on the hydraulics. There we go. What I'm going to do is just set the depth of this. Because we've got a lot of material on the surface, obviously because we've not got to a bare soil seed bed, we've got all this trash, if you want to call it that, but bits of grass clod already on the surface. I don't want the tines in the ground. If I put the tines down, it's just going to ruck up like mad. So we're just going to hold this just off the surface, set the rear depth at that. And that means we'll just be basically broadcasting the seed, but evenly, because we're using all the different air tubes over the whole working width, rather than just sending it out in a spinner broadcaster, which is liable to wind and drift and poor spread pattern. So we'll get a nice even coverage, and then we'll just use the roller to roll it in. All those nice little shallow crevices now, after the power harrow's been over there, seed will drop in there, press down firm, job's a good one. So the one thing with this which is tricky is you can't really see where we've been other than just the little slight tire impressions. Well, they're not much to go off. This is where the auto steer, hopefully you can see on the screen here, you can see we're shading a little blue line. So as I go up and down on our 6 metre working widths, we'll be shading the field in. And I'm going to go over it a second time, we'll shade it in darker. Now without that, very easy to go wrong. You may have seen on Clarkson's farm, I think he came up with he didn't like the bout markers where you have the fold out bout markers that leave a little disc line. He never liked those. So he came up with his own way of doing it with some paint and messed about with some paint and stuff. It's good fun. But you can see what I mean by that, of having to have some indication of where you've been, otherwise when you look back up this field, dead difficult to know where you've covered and not. Okay, I'm just going to check. We're sort of about halfway through the first pass over the field. So I'm just going over now, just checking these tubes. Just making sure there's no blockages in here. Each tube's clear. Nice thing about having these clear bands in the tubes is you can see where there's blockages forming. They're all clear as a whistle, so big thanks to Stocks. I can't remember the name of the chap I was talking to on the stand at Cereals, but yeah, big thanks to Stocks anyway for the advice about swapping over to this system with single pipes, wider angle spreader plates. So far it's working really well. Just finished seeding now, and you can perhaps just see the rain starting to come down. Luke's just cracking on a little bit quicker with the rolls on the second pass. It'll soon get to a point where it'll start sticking to the rolls too much. So just cracking on now quickly, get the last of this pressed in. Yeah, it changes very, very fast. But you can see the difference where I've just been over it a second time versus where I've just been catching the tines with the seeder, knocking those sods up slightly. Yeah, it's doing a good job. You can see here, hopefully, all the little seeds. Must be able to see loads of the little seeds here, really evenly distributed across the surface. Just seeding, sort of grass seed, well, seeding in general, it's a bit like spraying. You don't think you're doing a lot, and you just have to have the confidence that the machine is doing what you've asked it to do, calibrated correctly, is putting it out, distributed as you want it, just like the sprayer. And then you have to wait. Patience is the key. But if we can just get this rolled now, before we get too much more rain, just get it pressed in. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. We've got this lovely dry ground. You know, the ground was lovely and dry when we worked up. I mean, arguably a little bit too dry. It was hard on the machinery, but it worked up well without creating any compaction. We've got it seeded, pressed in. We've got warmth in the soil, got the moisture coming. Yeah, I've got loads of confidence this is going to be an absolutely fantastic meadow restoration. I hope you've really enjoyed the video. You might have seen another video we did recently where we were spreading green hay as another technique for reseeding these meadows. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comments, share with your friends. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.